Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I actually wasn't gonna do a story time this late, but I cannot sleep because they are having a gathering party. I don't know what's going on in front of my building, and that's the downside of living where I live. I'm trying to move very expeditiously. Um, I just graduated, and even before that, just trying to move and everything, putting in applications. I'm on waiting lists, so pray for me, y'all. But anyway, I wanted to do this story time about my friend, and I just had to do it. And I was like, let me do it before I forget. And I'm up and can't sleep, so I might as well do it. So basically, we're gonna call my friend. What are we gonna call him? Clark. We're gonna call him Clark, just in case if he see this video. So Clark is a nice guy. Clark is a gentleman, and at times too nice. And to me, I just wanted to talk to the fellas tonight. Fellas, it's okay to make a chick walk home. It's okay to put her ass on a bus, and it's okay to walk her to the train. Not everybody is, just walk you home and put her in an Uber. Forget all that. Not all chicks deserve that. And you'll know what type of chicks once you observe and everything like that. Some of these chicks are for the streets. Yes, they are. So, my boy Clark told me that he met this girl at a function, at a barbecue, and she was pretty and she seemed normal. And so she asked a mutual friend for his phone number, and he said, cool, yeah, I'll talk to her. They talk on the phone. I guess he felt like she was okay. They plan a date. They go out, and she basically told on herself. And I told him he dodged a bullet. She was saying very gold digging type stuff, like she don't date guys that don't have cars. She's like, as a man, you need a car. Mind you, she doesn't have a car. Neither does she. I feel like if you want a man to have a car, you should at least have your own place. Like, I have my own place. I don't have a car, but I'm not going to say, oh, you need to have your own car. Like, I would never say what a guy should have if I'm not at least trying to get it myself. Like, my whole thing is like, she's not even trying to get a car, but she probably don't even have a license to drive, and you're talking about your ideal guy or guy you want to date should have a car. So that's insulting to my boy because he don't have a car by choice. So that was a turnoff to him. Strike one. Strike two, she just was like saying annoying stuff, like things that he didn't agree with. And the way the night ended, like, also, oh, she was very sexual on the date. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't be sexual because there's no right and wrong for dating. There's no right and wrong for life. Everybody has to experience things for themselves. But a guy like my friend, he doesn't go for that. He don't like fast girls or whatever. So her being sexual and talking about sex, it turned him off. Like, that was a red flag for him. And so she was asking him the size of his bed and this and that, and he's like, he wasn't with it. So they went to a Thai restaurant. I'm like, first of all, and I'm gonna say this, fellas, please. I'm a female, and I know what it is to feel stupid when you spend money on someone and they are not what you thought they were. And I've spent money on dudes way too much. Like, if I could go back in the hands of time, I'll be like, what were you thinking? But I've done it a few times, and it's not a good feeling when that person don't feel the same way you do, or you feel like they wasted your time and money. So I would say for fellas, I can imagine how fellas feel when a girl is just like her, ratchet and disgusting, and you done wasted your money. Now my boy didn't mind. Like, he don't think Thai restaurants is a big deal. But Thai restaurants are romantic, first of all. The ambiance is always nice. Any Thai restaurant I've ever been to is nice. It's a nice setup. It is. I feel like, and this is my opinion, there's no right and wrong answer for dating. For two people who don't know each other, and you're just getting to know each other, there's nothing wrong with a picnic. Girls like creativity. You don't have to pay no money. The most you'll have to do is like get some snacks or get some lunch, depending on what day it is. Just ask her, you hungry? You want something? You go to the store, get some food, pull out a blanket, and boom. Or go to the beach. That's even more romantic. Go to the beach, go to the park, grab some food, get some drinks. And guess what? That's a date. You sitting down, you talking, you getting to know her. Go to a museum. Inexpensive. If you're an intellect and you really into that life, library. The library is not a bad spot to sit and talk to someone. You can't talk as loud because obviously people are studying, or people getting their study on, their education on. So, you can't really talk as much as you may want. But the coffee shop, I think that's an excellent choice of a first, because you're interviewing that person. She's interviewing you. And you don't want to feel like you wasted your money or your time. So try to outweigh your options, fellas, with taking a chick out. You're just meeting her. Listen, forget what society and your mama and everybody say. You got to think of your pocket first. And you got to think, I don't know this girl. I'm not trying to spend but so much money. And listen, if she doesn't understand that, then she's not the one for you. It's really because if a chick is really, I could admit it, and this is from a woman's perspective. Every guy I've ever had strong feelings for, like I felt like I was in love with them or had strong feelings, even though if I had no business having feelings for them, they didn't really spend that much money on me. And I'm not saying that I fell in love with cheap dudes, but when a woman falls for a guy or falls in love, we're not falling in love with what you could do for us. We're falling in love with you, or what we feel is you. Is one particular guy, yes, he paid for every date, but I didn't fall in love with him paying for every date. Definitely not. But when I think about it, every guy that I feel like I had a connection with and I fell for them and really wanted to be with them, they didn't really spend that much money on me like that. So yeah, it's not about that. Like, a female that's down for you, fellas, she's not gonna care about a fancy restaurant. And most of these fancy restaurants, their food is nasty anyway. You got a few fancy restaurants that the food is good, but it's like a needle in a haystack. Like Westlight in Williamsburg, their food is good and it's fancy. But these French restaurants and all this and that, Greek restaurants, Italian restaurants, food is not even all that. Now imagine you taking a ratchet chick, and I'm gonna get to it why exactly she was ratchet. But imagine you spending all this money and the date was horrible. She's talking to you all sideways and cursing you out, and you done spent $200 on this hoe. You gonna feel like you're gonna feel stupid. But my boy was smart about that one, because what happens is she texts him and she's like, oh, so you don't have sex on the first, like, he showed me the whole text. She's like, you don't have sex on the first night. And he's like, no, it depends on the vibe. Like, first of all, as a female, and that's why I had to do this video, because I'm like, yo, females are turning into dudes, and this is why dudes out here are acting so reckless, because of females like her. She's like, oh, da 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 da, and it's like, I'm not gonna nail nobody to the cross because nobody's perfect. But why would you ask a dude that? Like, that's just weird. That's ratchet and it's weird. And he's like, no, it depends on the mood and the vibe. Like, I wasn't feeling like that with you. Like, I wasn't, he's letting her know. So she calls him, and he keeps it real with her. Like, yo, I'm not really interested, and I heard you was talking about me. Because basically the mutual friend let him know that she was like calling him gay because they didn't have sex, calling him fruity booty is what she said, fruity booty or whatever. And why are you calling a man fruity booty? Because he don't want to sleep with you the first night. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I've never heard of nothing like this. That's why I had to do a story time, because I'm like, that caught me by surprise. I've never heard of anything like that before. That's bizarre. That's crazy. So, he let her know, like, yo, I heard what you said and I don't appreciate it and I'm not interested. The end. She starts yelling at him. She starts cursing at him just like a dude would do that's being rejected. I'm like, what? And then, like, she sends text messages saying, you're not even cute. I was just bored. Your meat probably small. Like, what? This is why he don't want to talk to you. This is exactly why. Because your intuition, your instincts, he's a smart dude. Now, most dudes would have hit because it's like she throwing it at him or whatever, whatever. But you gonna be so disrespectful and rude. And she's lucky he didn't curse her out. He just kind of hung up on her and blocked her. Ratchet situation, just ratchet. But I said that for my fellas out there. On the first date, it's okay to not spend no money. Now, with my homeboy, he don't care. Like, Thai restaurant is nothing to him. But for my other dudes out there, it's okay. Try to see where her head is at. Another thing, don't be in a rush to go out on a date. Try to have a few, and that's something I learned too. There's nothing wrong with having a few phone conversations to really talk to, because people tell on themselves on the phone. I kid you not. So try to interact with the person on the phone as much as possible before you even hang out, because that can kind of eliminate unnecessary interaction, for real. Do a FaceTime, do a Zoom, and you can really see where the person's head is at, right? Then when you go out, that's when but don't be afraid to talk on the phone and get to know a chick and see where her head is at. Don't be afraid to say, hey, is it okay if we, go to a picnic? I don't know any female that would say no to a picnic. It's romantic, it's thoughtful, and it shows that you're doing something different. You're just not restaurant and movies or the typical dating let's do a picnic. She's not gonna say no. If she says no, she not the one. And that's probably a man. No, I'm joking, but yeah, she's not gonna say no. Starbucks. Just let her, hey, I don't really know you. We're just meeting. It's okay. You drink coffee. You don't have to get and people think, oh, you have to. No. Starbucks has tea. In fact, you could go in Starbucks. You don't even have to buy anything. They won't bother you. You can go and sit down, talk. Just talk. That's what it is. It's interviewing. That's what dating is. And don't be afraid to take your time. And any chick that like don't want that, she not the one. If she's like demanding you take her to a 5-star restaurant, demanding that you, no, that's not the one. I've never been like that. I'm 33 years old. I've never been like that. I'll just be happy if I get a date to go anywhere, because nowadays, guys are just, anti-date, and now I see why. And I've been with my current dude for a while because I'm like, I'd rather stick to what I know than to go fishing. And, dating, I'm like, that's what dating is in 2022? Like, I feel bad for my boy. But yeah, that's the story time. Don't be afraid to go on reasonable dates. You don't gotta spend a bunch of money.